This episode of The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast post-show, is sponsored by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/thearena_podcast. Hey everyone, welcome into The Arena, Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast post-show for episode 81. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burly of Burlyman Gaming on Twitch. Burly, how you doing, man? Yeah, it was a pretty fun show, talking about Unreal Engine 5 and, the new Tomb Raider game that's going to be coming out for that and everything else. So, how you doing, man?
Oh, yeah.
Doing good?
Doing good. Had some blue milk in between our break between this and the post shows.
You're talking about blue milk because I was talking about my cat Thomas. It's like,
well, it's also Lego Star Wars, the minifig I got.
Right.
We got to all tie it in.
Right, exactly. You got to tie all that stuff in, yeah. And I wore for the post show, I wore my Twitch hat. Twitch streamers represent. Yeah, I mean, because we're going to be talking about Twitch streaming a little bit in the post show, for our final story. So I thought I'd do that and throw it in for you. And of course, you have your Stream Loots, hoodie on there. So Stream Loots represent for Twitch and all. Yeah, but
I just got it on Friday. So
nice. Yeah. I just got this hat a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, it's like the first time I've worn it on the show. So
nice.
Yeah. So anyway, first story, Burly, let's jump into it. So during the episode, we talked about remakes. Of course, Max Payne 1 and 2 are going to be coming out, remade by Remedy and Rockstar. So this is an interesting article, basically called "Maybe We Don't Need These Expensive Video Game Remakes." And for all of you watching the post show in video format, you can see the link below there. This is to the Kotaku article. So I'm going to read a little bit of this because this person, and I kind of agree with him in a sense, we really don't need remakes. It's like, game development companies and studios should be thinking of new IPs, something new. Oh, yeah. And this is what he says here that I want to quote what he's reading here because I really agree with this part of the article here. It says, "Publishers want to sell video games but don't want to take risks. So remakes of classics with trusted brand names are a safer bet. What's more,
sorry to interrupt. It's the same with the damn movie industry.
Yeah.
We already know this movie was a hit back in 1975 or whatever year, right?
Yeah. They've been doing that for 30, 40 years now. Yeah.
I'm getting tired. Like, I can understand remaking something like like an old sci-fi film where the effects weren't so good. Yeah. And it was really, like the cheesy sci-fi where the effects were so bad and you're laughing.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I can understand that, but remaking films now, we have better cameras.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
Yeah. So anyway, the author of this article here, Luke Plunkett, he goes on to say that if you want to test the waters with a potential new audience to see how an older property can resonate with a younger crowd, this is a good way to do it. He says, but I'm not here to talk about the way things are. I want to talk about a way things could be better. This obsession with the past sucks. These games have been made and released already for a time, for an audience, for a platform. People played those games. Those experiences became a part of the time, leading to sequels, then Alan Wake, of course, which now we're going to, be getting Max Payne as well. So none of that took place in a vacuum. It happened on a timeline. For example, for like Alan Wake, Quantum Break, Control, and everything, on which we're now at the part marked 2022. Saying quote. So I mean, I think companies should take more risks. I'm really tired with all of these remakes and, come out with new IPs. I mean, like he's saying towards the end of the article, it's like life is, finite. Yeah. And we only have so much time in it. And to have new IPs and all of this would make things a lot more fulfilling. Whereas to just continue to play the same games over and over and over again, just being remade. Yeah, cool. It's going to look great in Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, that's cool. But I mean, what about a new IP in Unreal Engine 5? You know? Yeah, you
Yeah.
take risks. It might be great. It might be crap. But hey, I would rather have the risks and try something new than having to always play something that I played like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I agree. I hate this. Let's just remake game shit and then, or like, no, we don't need everything. Doesn't need to be remade. Like
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'd rather take new ideas, but the problem is because this all comes from the execs and stuff like that, and investors in certain game companies,
Yeah.
because they already know something was a hit before. It's
Mhm.
safer to go with what was a hit before, remake a hit, than it is to do something original. And because these aren't the creative people, they're the ones pushing the saying, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because we calculated and we knew the original, let's say, sold 12 million copies. The remake could sell about the same amount, if not more. So we'll do that, even though people don't realize remake fatigue is setting in for a lot of people.
Yeah, they're actually taking the risk of losing money on a remake because not so many people might want to play it.
Like
You know?
I do like remakes. There are some good ones. Like I
Yeah.
loved Final Fantasy VII Remake. My
Yeah.
only problem was I wish because you're calling it Final Fantasy VII Remake, make it the whole goddamn game. Not I pay $90.
Yeah, for
90,
like
not
2 or 3
$90 now.
stages or something like that. Yeah.
Well, like if you go by the original, that's like the first 3 to 4 hours, maybe 5. Because
Right.
Midgar in the original is not very long for those that have played it, but they stretch it out to like a 30 hour game. But they do different things, they do different stuff with the story. So I at least am happy with that. It's not just the same game cookie cuttered. They did change stuff, they added, and so it's like, okay, give credit there, but like everything doesn't need to be changed. If you want to port stuff or do like these little things like Square's done with, they did with 7, 8, 9, and Chrono Cross, these upscales and charge you like the $20, I'm all for that. I'm all for that because it's giving a game that may not had a good chance, or putting it on more platforms, giving more people the opportunity to play, and clean stuff up a little, make it look a little bit more presentable. I'm all for that. No arguments here.
But I think you agree with me though that I mean the time is we're at a crossroads now where people are starting to get frustrated with all of these different remakes that are coming down the pipeline.
Oh yeah,
we saw what happened with the GTA remasters and all of that and stuff. So I mean, it's time to just make new IPs, and that's what we all want, is to see new IPs like we did back in 2017 with like Horizon with Aloy. Just imagine if we get 20 new games like that with all these new different characters and all these new stories, and it would just be a lot more fun, I think, for all of us gamers out there. So.
I agree, and look at how many people are mad because there's the rumors that Naughty Dog is going to remake the first Last of Us. It's like, no, the game, you don't need to. You don't. You don't need to remake it. My feelings on the game aside, you don't need to remake that game. Make your Last of Us 3 or make a new IP. Make something new. I don't need to see if I have to go out and see digitally there's another Last of Us.
Right, just get out of that world and make something new. Make a new world and something completely different. I mean, that's I think what more people would want. So
I don't want, even though I loved Horizon 1 and I loved Forbidden West. Forbidden West is my game of the year so far. I don't need Horizon. I don't need Horizon 1 remade in the engine that Forbidden West was on, and taking stuff from that to make it a little more more accessible and people really wanting to get into it more.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
that is something we do not need.
Right.
And please,
Right.
for the love of God, I hope I did not give them ideas.
Yeah.
Please don't do it.
And of course, they were even talking about Bloodborne being remastered and all as well. And
Yeah, no.
speaking of From Software, Burley, it's time to move on to our next story. So, Elden Ring, of course, it's a lot of people's game of the year already, and everybody thinks it's going to win all of the game awards this year. But yeah, this article was interesting, which came from a PC Gamer. It's called "Elden Ring is Too Big." So the link to the article is below there. So I want to discuss this and get your thoughts. I have not. No, I just want to preface this by saying I have not played Elden Ring, but Burley has, and so I wanted to get his opinion on this. And we're going to also be doing an extra take early next week on Elden Ring, so we're going to be talking about that in more detail. But anyway, I want to talk about what this PC article with Rich Stanton talks about here. And one of the main things from the article, he says, Elden Ring scale. So he's talking about the scale of Elden Ring. Elden Ring scale means that From Software has had to maximize what it gets out of various assets. This game has a lot of repetition in it, which is not necessarily a problem, but once you've seen the same boss crop up in a slightly different form 4 times, you do start to get a little bit meh about them. All of these games have had some element of this, and indeed, it's nice to see the hardworking stray demon can still get work all these years later. But it does, after a while, start to dilute the thrill of exploration. In my initial period with the game, I loved the mini dungeons, but now I feel like I've seen everything they have to offer multiple times over, and they almost feel like a bit of a chore. Oh, it's this type of enemy. Right. It's this kind of layout. Mm-hmm. There's the lever. There's the fog door. Oh, this guy's beat you guy you beat twice already, but now he has dogs. So yeah, I mean, so he goes on. But anyway, so is it Burley? Is this game too big?
Yeah, it is too big. But the thing is like some of the big spots, you don't. From my experience, I got like 20 hours. Don't really have that much in there. And it's like, I don't know if I've got to go talk to some other people, activate quest lines for stuff to appear.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, there's just stuff there just to make these maps big.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not, like, I like open world, but as I've stated before on them, these games are getting too big just to sell that there's so many things. And like recolors of bosses, I hate. I hate when they do this shit where it's 4 times of the same boss. You got to be kidding me. From Software, you can have one version, 2 versions. I will give you 2 versions where it's a different version. They've changed them up, changed the pattern and added more. But when there's 4 copies of the same boss and just slight variations, come on, that's just lazy design. Yeah. If you're going to boast that you have so many bosses and all this, you either make them unique or not at all. You can't give me both directions. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was surprised when I read this article. I was surprised to see that. I mean, yeah, you got bosses that look almost identically the same, just only small differences. I mean, come on. You know, throughout the game, I want to see completely different creatures. And I'm sure there are some other different creatures throughout the game and all, but I mean, yeah, that's pretty weird in a sense. But yeah, well, like I said, we'll be talking about this a little bit more in detail when we do the extra take on Elden Ring, and Burley's going to be providing some footage for that. So we'll be talking about it as we watch that footage when we do the extra take. So stay tuned and be prepared to watch that. So we're excited to bring that to you later on. So, which leads us to our final story, Burley. Of course, I'm wearing my Twitch hat. Twitch streamers represent. Of course, you're a Twitch affiliate and you're a Streamloots partner. I'm also a Twitch affiliate. And of course, I've done live streams. You do live streams a lot, and sometimes we have situations where we might have some people that unfortunately come onto our streams and they start spilling the beans about their emotional problems and things like that. So, uh, yeah, this article was kind of interesting to read. And I'd like your take on this, Burley, because you stream a lot more than I do at this point.
Mhm.
Yeah, Twitch streamers are struggling with trauma dumping. So, like I was saying, trauma dumping is when you're in the middle of a stream and then somebody comes on and they just start getting into the chat and trying to dominate the chat about themselves and their personal problems and their personal issues and things
Mhm.
that might have happened to them or to others that they know. And then it starts to bring down the stream and the momentum that streamer might have with the the excitement and the fun that everybody's having during the stream, and all of the people that are watching. And that streamer might start losing viewers because they don't want to deal with these particular people in the chat and all. So Burley, what's your take on this, man? What do you think? I thought this was a pretty interesting article, and
Hmm.
I wanted to talk about how you would particularly deal with this type of situation, and have you had these types of trauma dumping situations happen to you before on your stream, and how did you go about dealing with it?
So I've had it. I'm a multifaceted on this. Just as I get it. People want to talk. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I've had people say, "Yeah, I'm not having a good day." If the
Mm-hmm.
streamer asks and goes down a little bit, you
Mm-hmm.
can tell. But there are ways you can tell your problems without, you know, giving every detail and trying to put the focus on you. Because there are
Mm-hmm.
some people that will do it just because they want to vent, and I am okay with that.
Yeah,
But
before you go on, I
you
just want to, from this input article, I just want to quote one of the paragraphs here because you just mentioned it. So, quote, I had one viewer who just vented every time they were in chat, end
yeah,
quote. Quote, they never really contributed to the conversation that was going on. They just derailed whatever was happening to talk about their problems, end quote. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, that's something I don't like. Like I can understand. Like I've had people that say, yeah, I'm not having a good day, but we'll talk for a little bit, but they'll still contribute with what's going on. They're like, so let's say I'm playing Kirby and be like, wow, I haven't played a Kirby game since '64. How's it different from since Kirby '64? And then we're at least talking about stuff that's going on. That's
Right.
fine. But I've had people that just come in, bring up their problems. I haven't even say like, hey, how you, like I say, hey, how are you, welcome on in.
Right.
But then and they're like, yeah, I'm fine, and then just send the giant message. It's like,
Uh-huh.
come on, like
Yeah.
you got to give some etiquette. I understand it from both sides. Like I know not everyone has a safe place that they want to vent to and people to
Right.
talk to.
Right.
I get that. I understand that. But you
Mm-hmm.
have to learn and at least be respectful to the streamer too and the community you're doing this into.
Yeah.
If you're respectful and the streamer is there, but if the streamer is more pushing you and say, I'm willing to talk with you and let's talk in DMs after my stream,
Yeah.
take take that as let's talk in the DMs. It's not the streamers ignoring you. They're not trying to be bad. They just kind of don't want the momentum to just suddenly stop. Because I've had that. I've had an incident with one person where I said, "Why do we have to talk in DMs?" It's like, I'm like, and then I have to kind of be like,
Yeah.
okay, really, I'd rather I said, and for this case, I said, well, I don't want this just to go downhill chat. And I said, you're also going to want to talk personal shit that not every other freaking person here needs to see or know.
Yeah, I think this is a situation where I guess if it were in my if this were happening to me, I would be, if I had a moderator, this
Mm-hmm.
is the communication I would be having with my moderator about, okay, you know, we should have some type of message that we put out before a stream about these type of situations, and kind of give a warning about it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like something that streamers and moderators really have to have some better communication with,
Yeah.
to deal with this type of situation. I mean, and there's a lot of streamers probably that don't have a moderator, and
Or they have moderators, but the problem is like you're in my case where you allow it, but you don't. At the same time, depending on how the context is,
yeah,
it kind of, it's not easy, because it's not always an easy cut and dry kind of thing.
yeah. But that's the thing about this generation. I mean, this is just coming from me. I'm from the generation before all of this stuff, obviously. I mean, I love it, and I love to use it and all. I feel like I'm a part of this generation now. But I mean, I come from back in those days where we didn't have this type of situation. We didn't have streaming, but as the internet has progressed, it's almost a win-lose situation, because
Oh yeah.
you know you could tell somebody, okay, we're not going to talk about this during the stream. If you want to DM me, it's okay. And then you have 10 of your viewers that are going to think, oh, you're heartless and spineless because you're not, listening to
Yeah.
what this person has to say. Right. Well, in my case, I would be like, well, okay, in this situation, because these are the rules of my stream, you can call me heartless and spineless if you want, but these
Yeah.
are the rules. And they knew the rules. You could read the rules, like what the moderators laid out before the stream started.
Oh, you can
Yeah,
always have that rules thing come up before they ever type in
yeah,
your chat.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
we do have options of stream elements and some of the other things, like
yeah,
bots that you can put in that
yeah.
put timers in every couple minutes, saying like,
Right.
if you are having problems, please just DM us. We will
Yeah.
talk to you there, because we'd rather not have personal issues or stuff like that.
But
Your
what I'm
personal
what I'm
info go
right, but
in
what I
chat.
want to say is I'm from that generation where people didn't have the internet to have to sit there and not look at your face and say, I have a problem with all this blah 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 blah, because they want attention. No,
Mhm.
they would have to get in your face and actually look at someone
Yeah.
and do that. But the internet today, it's like you can get anybody in there and just they could be making things up. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not true, because they
Yeah.
want the attention. Yeah.
That's true too. You do have people that will just say things for attention.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part, because it overshadows the people that really are having problems,
Right.
and that
Right.
just need someone to talk to that's
Right.
real, instead
Right.
of this.
Yeah. So anyway, trauma dumping. Yeah. So it's a
Like,
situation with a lot of streamers. So yeah, go ahead, Burley.
I was gonna say, like, to people, if you feel like the streamer is someone you're like, you have a connection, like friendship and all that, try and chat with them outside of their stream on this, or
Yeah.
other people.
Yeah.
Try not to bring it in, but like, if the streamer does ask you and wants you to talk about it a bit, talk about it, but you don't need to dump the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, be selective, and just say like, I'm just having a really tough time. I lost my job and all that.
Yeah.
I've fallen on hard times.
Yeah.
You don't need to go
uh-huh.
the whole
I look
thing.
at it in a different way, though. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
This is a gaming stream. We're talking about video games. If you want to talk about things like that, then find a channel that's more responsive to that.
Yeah.
That's just the way I am. And there's rules, and if you can't follow them, then I'm sorry, but yeah, we're gonna get you out of there. I mean, that's just the way things are for me.
No, and
So
I completely understand it that way.
yeah, yeah,
There are channels that do like just chatting and stuff like that.
exactly.
That more delve into that, and
Right,
there's nothing wrong with that.
right,
Like, for me, I've had, because I've been streaming for a while, and I had one guy, because one chatter said, yeah, he's like, because we're talking like plans for the weekend. One guy's
yeah,
like, oh, my weekend's pretty good, but on the one day I got to go to my girlfriend's parents, I'm not really a fan of them. And then I had one chatter who was like, oh frick, he was like, oh, poor you. You gotta go to your girlfriend's family, and just like trying to start shit. I was like, what?
I would have been
Why?
like, just sorry to hear that. Okay.
I was like,
Sorry to hear that.
well,
Oh wow, look at that! Look at that! Yeah, look at that! That
well, I was
Pokemon
like,
character there, or something.
oh, I think I was like, ooh, did you see that headshot I just did, or what?
Yeah,
I think it was like playing Guardians or something like that.
yeah.
And it's like,
Hoping they get
I
the
just,
hint. Yeah, hoping they get the hint.
no one gets the hint. This person did get the hint. I literally had to go to one of my moderators that wasn't in that stream, tell them what happened, and they helped write me a response to send to them, be like, okay, if you got a problem, DM me. My DMs are open, and I'm like, I may not give you the answer as quickly as you want, but you will get a response. Right. So it's just like, DM me, you'll get your response. Whether or not it's going to be what you want, I ain't promising shit, because I'm going to, no offense, I'm going to say what I feel and what I think.
Yeah.
Don't like it, I'm sorry.
Yep. All right, so that was a pretty good conversation there regarding Twitch streaming and some, of the current problems that streamers are having with some of their viewers. But anyway,
or just randoms that come in, you do get that people that will just jump, because I've had randoms jump in for stupid things. They'll come in, like when I used to do Mario Maker, I had random people that would jump in and be like, well, you need to play my level first. I'm like, well, no offense, I got a guy that's in the queue. I got 2 people in the queue ahead of you. You have to wait.
Yeah.
Well, mine's more important. I said, no offense, everyone's going to say they're more important. Yeah. I have to put the 2 people that are ahead. Right. You can wait. It says if you put yours in now, yours is third to play on the queue. And then if other people come in after you and say that they're important and stuff, they got to wait after you. Right. That's how we do it. It's a fair way. I know you don't like it. But it is what it is. I had people that would just leave. Yep. Or they would just follow to think that would get me to do them first. Right. I was like, no, thank you for the follow. If you're going to unfollow, you're going to unfollow. And I can't stop that. But
yeah. Like you said, Burly, it is what it is. And with that, I think that's going to do it for the post show for this week. Yeah. So, until the next episode of the post show, we hope all of you have a great gaming week. And we're looking forward to doing our Picard Season 2, Episode 6 this coming week. And of course, we got an extra take on Elden Ring coming up as well. And we're going to be doing our Marvel episode for the Marvelous Marvel Discussion Arena next week on, of course, Moon Knight. So we're going to be doing our reactions to the first 3 episodes of that. So stay tuned for that as well. So thank you, everybody, for coming in and listening to us or watching us in video format. We hope to catch you in the next episode of the post show. So take care, everyone. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burly, Burlyman Gaming on Twitch. So we hope to catch you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Peace out.